Oh,
we end
nice.
our podcast session with a weekly dose version of the questionnaire that was used masterfully for 24 years by the great James Lipton inside the Actors Studio. And the first question is, Emma Arnold, what is your favorite drug?
Okay. I'm going to say weed now is my favorite drug.
Ooh, weed now.
Because you know what weed does for me? It helps me sleep. And as a lifelong insomniac, as a person who from the time I was a kid, I could not sleep, and I have gone a lot of my life sleeping 2 or 3 hours a night. And really think my relapse was probably predicated more by lack of sleep than anything else, honestly. I take half an edible at night before bed, sleep like a rock, sleep like a baby. It's incredible. And so that's where I'm at in my life, is if a drug makes me sleepy, I'm like, oh, hello.
Sign me up. I'm with you on that. My word, with the children, the child, there's no sleep, no sleep. What is your least favorite drug?
My least favorite drug would probably have to be PCP.
Yes. The angels,
which I have not
the dust
done
of
since
angels.
To be fair, I have not done since I was a teenager. But what I found at the time was I was already a very reckless kid, and it made me really even more reckless. And I didn't know we were doing PCP at the time. We were stealing weed from my friend's dad. And then one day he was like, "Are you guys stealing my weed?" And we were like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I laced that shit with PCP." And we were like,
yes.
Fuck. So I was like, oh, that makes the last 8 months or so sort of really puts that in focus for me.
This, in fact, sounds like a Dare program story as well. You got the weed laced with some PCP and everything went wild. What age were you the first time you found yourself under the influence? I believe we discussed it earlier.
I was 12 the first time, and I had older siblings, and stuff was pretty readily available. Also, my biological father used to give drugs and alcohol to me and my brother, mostly me because I was the oldest. So yeah, pretty young, and I was a very active user from the age of 12 to 15 of literally anything I could find, get my hands on, anything anybody handed to me. I was
pounding the WD-40 out in the shed. I was getting into some huffing, all of it. Yes, I can relate.
Yep,
I can relate.
Yeah.
What celebrity's overdose death has had the most profound effect on you?
Oh gosh. I don't think it's fair to call it an overdose death from what I've recently learned, but Mama Cass was a favorite of mine. And, everybody teases about oh, she died from a ham sandwich.
Choking on a ham sandwich, yes.
But actually she died from overusing diet pills because she had been fat shamed for so much of her life. And she did a lot of yo-yo dieting and had damaged her heart.
And the ephedrine or whatever at the time, whatever,
right now everybody's doing Ozempic, and I'm sure in a couple of years we'll hear oh, that actually is putting holes in your heart or something awful. But
yes.
Yeah, she died of that, and I always really loved her and thought it was sad that she had this sort of humiliating death. But even more so now that I know that it's just an urban legend, and she died from being fat shamed. Essentially, she died of an eating disorder, which is so sad.
That is very sad. And God bless. Thank you for bringing shining a light on Mama Cass. I was about to go through the rest of my life believing the old ham sandwich bullshit. Yes.
I know. I'm going to put the word out for her.
Please. Yes, I'm glad.
That's disgusting.
Yes. Hashtag the Mama Cass truthers. We need to get out there. What is your favorite slang word for cannabis?
Ooh, it's got to be weed, honestly. I know it's not one of the more fun ones, but it just makes me... It's a classic, and it makes me feel young and cool when I'm talking to, Gen Z kids, where I'm I don't say you guys doing weed, but
You guys on the weed?
I smoke weed, you guys. I'm actually a pretty cool guy too, so yeah.
You can't go wrong with
fun
weed.
One. Weed is fun.
You're not reaching too far.
Fun.
Yes, it's always, it'll always fly. What drug would you like to deal for a living?
When I was a teenager, allegedly I dealt LSD for a while, and somebody would give it to me to sell, and I would sell it for $5. And such a tiny little convenient thing to deal. As far as dealing goes, you're just like, here's a little tiny piece of paper that's going to make you see God. I thought that was a pretty fun one to deal.
That's right, yes. 100 hits on
Allegedly.
one sheet. Allegedly, of course. Of course. And what drug would you absolutely not like to deal under any circumstances?
I'm going to say meth because I only did speed once as an 8th grader. And which looking back is maybe now I'm like, maybe I should get screened for ADHD because I did speed and everybody else was like buzzing and I was really like, boo.
That's right. There it is. It brought you, yes, it's a
and it was the first drug that I ever did. It was the only drug actually that I've ever done where I was like, well, it's cocaine too, whichever I was like, this could be an issue. Like everything else, I was like, who cares? Blah. But I was like, you will die if you continue to do this because you really like it and it's really fun. So yeah, I would be a smoking your own supply guy if I did cocaine, meth, or speed.
Yes, yeah, you will die, but you will have built the sailboat that you're able to sail away on as you die. Yes. And finally,
finished my novel. So
yes, novel, more stand-up specials, and a sailboat. And finally, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear Mama Cass say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Oh my gosh, she's gonna say he's not dead yet. I understand that, but he will be by the time I die. She's gonna be like, Tim Curry is here and he's waiting for you.
Oh, delightful. What a party in heaven, Tim Curry and Mama Cass. Oh, my, that's lovely. Emma Arnold, here are your drug uses. Weekly Dose.
Hey, America, there's needle use sleeping with your children, with your daughters, with your